Guess who's back? Back again. Oh, sorry. I can't sing. Bear Down, part of the Coach Steve Show, which means Zach's here. We're back because Bears training camp has started.
Yeah.
And Bears Twitter pissed me off enough to where we have to talk about it.
Double yeah. We're back in full swing, baby. The delusional preseason talk is here. It's fully and officially Bears season again. When everybody and anybody says we're looking great, doesn't matter. You can even contradict yourself on reports. It doesn't matter. We're back. I'm along for the ride, at least for the training camp and for the first week. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Let's do this. Number one.
We're number one? Oh, my God. I didn't know that. We're number one?
Hey, we are. We're at the top with everybody else. Think about it. Just think about it real quick.
We're going to the Super Bowl? Is that what you're saying?
Sure.
We're going to win the Super Bowl? Caleb Williams is going to throw like only 5 interceptions and like 40 touchdowns?
This is the year.
Or is it they're going to cut Caleb Williams because he sucks because the training camp he's thrown 4 interceptions and oh my God, the defense is doing this. You mean we could also suck?
Okay, I'm not gonna encourage any of that. Hey, I've already seen on Twitter that's the other side of it too. I've already seen some people earlier in camp. It's died down a little bit since it seems like, it's camp. People get up to speed in camp. But first few days, I saw someone go, hey, Tyson Bagent had a pretty good day at camp. Caleb didn't really. Just throw that out there. Something to keep in mind. It's like, oh, God, here we go again. Tyson Bagent discussion. We're back. That's the other side. We're back now.
Well,
Bagent fans coming out. We're back.
So this episode's going to be a big Steve bitch fest. This is going to be all over the place because
be prepared. This is something we talked a few days ago. He's been ready to talk about some certain people's coverage on training camp. I'm just here to talk about a few things I've noticed and reading about training camp. That's the best I got.
So let's start out positively. Training camp is here, and this is the real stuff. This is fall camp, which does mean we're inching closer to the NFL being back. College has started too. We're inching back. I know football never stops with all the different leagues that are going on.
Thank you.
I always shout that out. But I just do want to say the two big football ones are NFL and college. We're inching closer back to them starting, which is awesome. I think we all are kind of ready to have those two start. I'm super excited for college football. I'm just excited that there's football on most days of the week, especially when the newborn's here. I'm just going to be holding them, watching football, like just have it on.
Got to raise them young and early. Get them into the greatest sport on the planet.
You should see all the football clothes he got from the baby shower. It's ridiculous. Everybody knew the deal. We had somebody knit a football onesie and a cat, so he just will look like a giant football, and I'm so excited.
My God. That's awesome. That's awesome. See, you're gonna do it right. You're gonna get him in. I hate to say it this way. You're gonna get the child indoctrinated right off the gate. All the Illini, all the Bears stuff. Please be a Cubs fan.
Cubs fan 100%. Cubs fan 100%. No White Sox, no Cardinals. It's going to be Bears, Illini, Cubs, Blackhawks, all down.
By the way, real side tangent. Rest in peace, Ryan Sandberg, man. That was really sad.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Everybody's gone, man. Rest in peace him. Rest in peace Hulk Hogan.
Ozzy Osbourne a few days before that.
Ozzy Osbourne, the funeral's happening today. They showed it. I'm just like, I told my wife, I was like, do you remember the last time something like this happened? She goes, what do you mean? I was like, COVID happened right after. Remember all the deaths that happened, like Kobe Bryant and a couple others. Then all of a sudden, COVID hit. So I'm like, what's about to happen? Because this is not good. When this stuff happens, because what is it? Death comes in threes?
Yeah, something that's like what they say. Comes in threes. I mean, shoot, it came in fours really because same day Hulk died. Chuck Mangione also passed away.
Yes.
That overshadowed a lot by the Hulkster there.
But it's like all childhood. All childhood right there is just gone.
You know, raise your kid a Cubs fan. Do it for Rhino. Okay? Do it for Rhino. This is a Cubs hat for anyone that's confused. I know it's looks like a Phillies like old school hat. Found this on Clark Street. So it is as authentic Cubs fair as you can get. It's one of the shops right across the street from the ballpark. You're not going to find any more authentic Cubs gear than right there.
Right.
But it's like one of the most, I just like the style. It's got the old 80s logo on the back. So, I mean, but, you know, doing it for Rhino today. And it's Cubs season. They need to get their act together. But we got Bears combo to talk about with camp, which I'm going to ask you, do you want to come? Do you want to go into just let you do your thing? Or do you want to talk about some of these reports? Because I know we got a left tackle situation this year that's getting a lot of press coverage for some reasons in recent days.
You have full reign to interrupt me at any time.
Okay.
I'm just easing into this.
All right.
Bears training camp started, which was awesome because this is going to be the first time that they are for real. They have their OTAs, which is to get their feet wet, you know, see the new players, and it allows the coaches to get and the management to get contracts done. It allows this, boom, 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 boom. Training camp starts. This is the real deal. This is you have to earn your spot. This is to learn the new defense, the new offense, especially for the Bears. Brand new whole coaching staff. It's for the real deal. You got your feet wet. It's like high school. High school, you get your feet wet in the summer. We start August 11th. You kind of have an idea. That's what this is for. Now, smart people like you and I, some stock goes into this.
Supposedly smart people. I just want to be very clear, but yes.
Reasonable people.
All right.
We put some stock into training camp, and the stock we put in is mainly culture, how the coaches are handling situations, how hard they're working. That's what should be taken into consideration, especially when it's brand new. If this was Ben Johnson's 5th year under this, there will be no bumps because they've been around him for 5 years. There's a reason why the Lions, after being around Ben Johnson for a couple years, especially last year, they just hit it like a well-oiled machine. Under Bill Belichick's, and then when he had his consistent coaching staff, well-oiled machine. Lovie Smith, well-oiled machine. Do you see a theme here? When they've been around somebody for a while, it's just boom, whatever.
Yeah.
It should have been common knowledge that the defense is going to have bumps because it's brand new. The offense is going to have bumps because for most of the players, brand new. No matter what OTAs, no matter what playbook study you've done, there's going to be bumps. This is common knowledge. We should not make determinations about our season the first week in training camp, the second week in training camp, the third week in training camp. We should not sit here and say, season's over, we're done, they suck. We should not sit here and go, Super Bowl. We should not sit here and say, cut Caleb Williams. We should not sit here and say that Ben Johnson's not the right hire. We should not sit here and say this Dennis Allen is crazy. Get rid of him.
Dennis Allen's a madman. I haven't heard that one. Is that going around, by the way? I'm sorry. I got a side tangent.
You know, I think the bot Bears Twitter ones. I have to be careful. Okay. Some of them are, you know.
I mean, to be clear, I understand what you're saying because you've got the folks that there's like 3 tiers of Bears discussion on social media, and I'm mostly X. Like you can go on Facebook and find groups and whatnot, and it's mostly fans on there. But like if you're on X and you're like using that as your sports app, there's like 3 types of Bears account. There's the Bears podcast account and / fan account that I'm gonna be honest with you, it's glaze all day. You're never gonna find a bad comment on stuff. We got ones that are like Bears season, which is Bears SZZN. It's all Bears hype all the time. There's no downside. You got like Caleb fan page, which used to be, I believe, the Justin Fields fan page.
Oh.
And that used to be glaze. And then you got actual journalistic reporters from different places. So, you know, we're talking the Adam Hogue and Adam Johns of the world, which they are They write articles and pieces as well,
Idiots. Sorry.
But, and then you've got the guys, there's a few out there that look like journalist accounts, really are just fan accounts, but they disguise themselves very well. And I think that's kind of the bigger area of gray where I'm like, when we hear about like high swings, very low swings, I'm like, I don't know if I can really listen to those now.
But the problem is those people get seen. And so it becomes like this is real. Now I will start off with this. Training camp starts. I never even looked into it. Like once in a while, I want to see reports out of it, mainly for the old line stuff. I want to see like when they do one-on-one drill, stuff like that. But what people also have to understand is there are rules. So the first couple days of your training camps, just like high school, you're only in helmets. There are no shoulder pads. There are no lowers. And people put so much stock into 7-on-7 stuff. People put so much stock into one-on-one drills with offensive line. You put some stock in it, but it can't be everything because how often are offensive linemen blocking one-on-one? They really don't. They always try to find double teams. They try to find this. It's more for technique. And so the first couple days, I don't really care. You just read it because you're a fan. You're like, okay,
sure.
Mainly
you just want to keep up. You just want to keep up with what's going on, obviously.
Right. And I should have known better. But all of a sudden, the first day, all I saw was Caleb Williams is awesome. Look at this. But then all of a sudden you start saying, well, wait a minute. Now he just threw 3 interceptions. Then you start to see, well, wait a minute. Look at the pass rush getting to him. Then you see this, and this. And so what starts happening is people start posting Caleb Williams is a bust. Why did we take him? Blah, 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 blah. Now I get it. Caleb Williams has brought this upon himself. He's been talking. He talked about the old coaching staff. He's been doing this. So pressure is...
He has definitely had an off season where very unique way of putting targets on your back. You really could have gotten out of this scot-free. And between him talking and the book that mentions a lot of his interactions, it is... it's been interesting for him. He's kind of... Some people have looked at him as still the people that do not like him that have started from college kind of have continued to find ways to be that way. But, I don't know. What do you want? It seems like that's the Caleb Williams way for him. So just got to rock and roll with it.
Now, when I started seeing this, I had to realize some of these are fan accounts. So on their fan accounts, like if I were to put something, it should not be taken very seriously. It just would be my opinion. People can argue it, do whatever, boom. That's fine. Like it's annoying. It's annoying as hell, but it's fine. But it's when you start seeing the actual reporters that blow stuff out of proportion, whether they mean it, they don't mean it. Your job is to report. So your job, in my opinion, should be, yep, Caleb Williams went 16 of 20. He threw 2 interceptions, but he also threw 2 touchdown passes. You can put on there, his body language was bad. You could put whatever you want, stuff like that. That's the stuff I want to see. I don't want to read, oh, he threw 2 interceptions. He overthrew this. They were bad passes. He's going to struggle. Like he's not. What I started seeing now is he can't pick up Ben Johnson's offense. You have Dan Orlowski saying it's going to take Caleb Williams years to grasp Ben Johnson's offense. But what you don't understand is these people don't listen to Ben Johnson. In his first ever talk, he said he's not bringing the Detroit Lions playbook and setting it down saying, learn this. It's going to be stuff that is geared towards the players that he has. Caleb Williams cannot run what Jared Goff runs. They cannot run the run game they had up there because he's not going to have the same old line. He's not going to have the same running backs. And guess what? If you report that, I'm going to say, good. I hope there's growing pains because this is brand new. And you know what else? It's my first year being the offense coordinator at high school. Do you not think during the summer and still at the end of the summer, I was dealing with bumps in the road with these players with the new things I wanted to do? Of course I did. But that was expected. Now, as a coach, we don't put up with it. We're like, you have to learn this. You have to do this. You have to do this. But on the outside looking in, this is expected. So when you've got reporters reporting this, I'm like, that's my biggest problem. You're getting paid a good living to type this bullshit where I could be doing that? Like, I could do that.
Would be nice to be able to go to House Hall every day and sit down, watch practice, take a few notes, and then be sure to write your report at the end of the night. Sounds like a pretty sweet gig to me. Or be what I would say is the Briggs role and be able to go and then put it on Twitter. Why not? Or sorry, I said Brad Briggs. I'll full disclosure. Whenever we talk Prags or Briggs, I always mess up their names because they're too damn close. But I'm referencing Greg in this instance here. Brad obviously is going to write a piece and everything like that.
Right.
But you can be Greg and go to train camp and write a good report on your daily and do it like that. That's pretty sweet. He gets to go and then do a podcast on that for CH Go. That sounds pretty dope. And I see what you're doing on screen because this is the guy we always seem to be running into where it's like the column that's in the middle we just talked about. Looks like a journalist account really is not. It's more just it becomes more a glazing account.
Well, I don't even follow this guy anymore because I couldn't take it, but it still finds its way to be popping up. But here's what I'm talking about, and you could correct me if I'm wrong. I see this post July 25th. QB Caleb Williams is killing it in training camp through 3 practices. Now, this is fake, but he puts up there like 96 touchdowns, 2 interceptions as it's Super Bowl. So you see this bullshit, and you're like, okay, cool.
Yeah, this was one that. So it's funny because this is one that I think he's making fun of the camp stuff. But what's hilarious is you got him to do. Yeah, people like that doing the same thing without realizing that they kind of do the same thing, which I think is a great lead into something I shared with you this week leading up to our episode. Is Dan Patrick wasn't covered as much as it should have been, but it was a great clip from an episode this week. Always has really good words on. And just good, I think, articulation on subjects like this. And funny enough, your boy Nick Wright had a similar opinion, by the way.
I know.
Can we sit down and just chill out with how we report on training camp for 5 minutes or so? Because Dan had a great point on we overblow everything in camp. And I know it's a world where you want to have that buzz piece on social that brings in the clicks. And it clicks on your article, your page, and makes you get elevated. But it's maddening, is it not? Do people want this stuff? Is that what the coverage they want every year? Because it's crazy to you and me. I have almost started to detest covering and listening to preseason and training camp anymore because it's just hype fest 24/7 until we hit the field. The most enjoyable part of my Bears cycle every season is once we get to preseason, then things start changing because then we start seeing people on the field, which is what you should be seeing because game situation is not the same as practice situation. We know this. Fans know this. And yet they still fall for stuff like this every year. And I just don't get it. But unless you just want something to feel good about, which, I mean, sure, but that's what you want. Fake good feeling. I don't agree with that. I just I can't believe people do that to me.
But then this idiot posts something like this. Bears offense looked bad in training camp, cancel the season, we're cooked. Now he's just doing it to be an ass. But if you know that you're considered like this Bears coverage person, I'm really going after this guy because he's an idiot. Me and him have gone back at it before. He ignores me now. But you see something like that, completely idiot. And then he posts this, and he's part of the problem. This is the one I think I sent you because...
And you came loaded up today with some of his examples here.
Like this. Ben Johnson.
That's what I did see, yeah.
Ben Johnson, get comfortable being uncomfortable. Bears fans, okay, we can get behind that. Offense shows some growing pains. Some of the fans, and it's a video of losing their mind. But he's the one that does this stuff. That's
where, and exactly, that's where I step off because it's like, well, if we're going to be a hypocrite, are you not being a hypocrite? That's the thing. If you're gonna Like there's a few other people that write for like that I've had good interactions at this off season with similar deal for like Bears Wire, the USA Today like coverage section of the Bears for them, and a few of the writers have also, I've noticed, started to have that same sentiment. I'm like, cool. I'm glad we're all on the same page that, let's take this day by day and not like have grandiose like reactions or overreactions to what happens in camp. Because at the end of the day, and this is something I've said on this show with you before, we've talked about it on this show again, and it probably won't be the last, is at the end of the day, it's what happens on the field. You can prep as much as you want. You can spend as much as you want. You can practice as much as you want. At the end of the day, injuries and what you have set up and put on the field in an in-game scenario are what matter most. So we can overanalyze practice as much. Yes, it's about roster spots. I think that's the main thing we talk about in these practices, and that's what I care about the most. Injuries and who's winning in camp battles. Beyond that, everything else doesn't matter until I hit the freaking 100-yard field in front of thousands of fans. That's it. So any other of this stuff about like completions or, these TD passes or interceptions, throw it out the window to me. Doesn't matter. Look at what happens on the field. And I kind of hijacked your spot, but that's really the truth. So I'm just saying, I'm glad we're having this convo again, but it seems like every year we get better, I think, at articulating our point, because I think a few more people realize this is kind of nuts. Okay. It gets a little maddening now that for me, at least, I started noticing this post 100-year season where ever since 2019, that's been my, oh my God, can preseason and training camp end so we can just get to the regular season and talk like actual football analysis, because it's so bad anymore trying to cover these teams and listening to everything's sunshines and rainbows. We can't do wrong. What are you complaining about these signings and trades for? Just leave it alone. We're going to win,
Or the opposite of they suck. Oh my God, he threw 2 interceptions. Yeah. And
always,
it's like
no analysis. No metronome. It's always going back and forth.
And especially when there's no pads. And it's on air. That's what I really get frustrated with, is when there's no pads, there's no pass rush. You're evaluating Caleb Williams. That's not a good analysis anymore. Like that cannot be used. And then when they do have a pass rush, they can't touch him because you don't want to hit the quarterback.
Right. Like there was a play 2 days ago for day 6. I think it was their red zone drills. And like they were showing what was labeled a sack. And like it was mainly they just penalized him for scrambling forever, which, to be fair, he probably would be sacked in that situation. But again, that's not real world scenario. Okay. Like you can't touch him. You're still holding a little bit back. You're not going 100% for your money there. You're just practicing. You can go hard in practice, but the NFL is not like high school football practices or anything. There's the incentives in the way the union's structured anymore. It's to protect the player more and more, understandably. But at the same point, the intensities is at its lowest it's ever been at this level. So what are you getting out of that besides, in regards, like unless your position's up for grabs, are you really going 100% every day? Genuine question.
Realistically, no. Like if you're a starter, you don't. But I think that's what training camp's for. It's for us to see who is trying hard. All we're looking for is energy and effort. So if there's a player out there that's like, I want to win, and they're out there giving everything, doesn't matter about throwing, doesn't matter about catching. They're not even really tackling. Maybe now because they're in full pads, maybe they are. But like, you just want to see who's trying. If they're out there going through the motions, or stuff like that. That's what I want to know is, oh, I saw DJ Moore jog a route today. Like that's the stuff I want to see. And it's like, hey, buddy, like you're getting paid a lot of money. I'm not saying that's what happened, but like if that's what I want to see. I want to see how does the coaching staff handle all these personalities? Are they actually doing what they said they were going to do in those because when coaches talk a lot when they're first hired, you want to see them back it up. And we are all scarred from the previous coaching staff because they said all the right things, blah, 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 blah. Or, for example, Ben Johnson gave a very good analysis about why Caleb Williams like missed this throw. He explained, he goes, I tell him to aim here, blah, 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 blah. He had this real good breakdown. They showed a clip then of Eberflus. All he said was, oh, we're just trying to get better day by day. Didn't give this big analysis. Ben Johnson is like backing up his words that when it comes to this, Dennis Allen backing up his words about how physical and intense they want to be. And they're going to be crazy and they're going to be flying around. That's all I want to see. That's all I want to know. Like, I love the first day of training camp, and then I love when they first start playing, because all the stuff in between, ever since social media got blown up, which is, it's a good and a bad thing. We just see all the stupidity that comes out. And I know this is their job. So I always try to take a step back going, reporters, this is their job. They have to put something out there. They have to get eyeballs. They want things here. I get it. But I feel like fans would rather gravitate more towards not hearing, oh my God, we suck, blow it up, Caleb Williams this, yeah, Tyson Bagent looks like he throws a good ball. We already knew he threw a good ball, dummies.
I do not need at this stage in the season a Tyson Bagent discussion. I couldn't believe my eyes last week when I saw someone go, Tyson Bagent stats compared to Caleb. I'm like, no, not now. Don't do this now. We are in year 2 of a quarterback that has just gotten a brand new OC head coach. Do not even dare try to make this discussion a legitimate one, because it makes no sense for training camp stats. It does not. Don't, guys. Be a bit better than that. That's all I ask. A little restraint will go a long way for you. But I will say, and I will acknowledge our guy Broski Bear, who's a new sub for you, by the way. I noticed, so good for him. Great point on here, of course, and what we're following with one of our points. All we hope is no injuries. One thing I will say that sucks, one of our high-profile draft picks, Shamar Turner, sounds like he'll be out for now a month because of an ankle injury he suffered in training camp, which is one of the downsides. You hope to get out without problems. I hate to see it for him because, let's face it, if there's any spot you needed that I'm still a little concerned about going out of camp, besides maybe figuring out the left tackle, it's really the interior line. And so I don't need our young, higher prospect D tackle from, second all team SEC guy going out at this time. Credit, he should be back early in the season. It just, you miss a lot of time dealing with an ankle recovery. You're not there with the coaches getting reps and getting kind of like those tidbits every day. Now you're worried about recovery going into your rookie season.
Right. See, that's the stuff that has to get reported. I don't want to see him hurt.
Right. And that's what you want to talk about. Like, okay, he's getting reps, but like, dude, we need that guy in the middle. Like, that was a massive struggle point last year, was the run defense. We need someone like that healthy. Now he's going to be, having to play catch up going into the start of the year
with a group that we need more production out of.
Correct.
That's the stuff we want to hear and know. That's the stuff I want to know. And then I want to know, whoever steps in for him, how are they performing? If that makes sense. And again, each position you can critique a little bit. I don't want to hear Caleb Williams through an interception, he sucks. Linemen and stuff like that's a little different. What's their technique look like? Are they healthy? Are they, even if they mess up the blocking scheme, are they still blocking? Or if it's
yes.
Or if it is a pass protection, is it 3 seconds? Like, and he can get rid of that type of stuff. Okay. Pass rush. Are they actually getting to the quarterback? And another thing people have to remember, and I think I might have said this on Twitter, I don't remember. Okay, Caleb Williams is throwing balls here, there. He's not looking that great.
Mm-hmm.
He's also going against the Bears defense, which is brand new as well. It's not the same Bears defense he was going against last year. It's a different scheme. It's a different this. So when he gets comfortable with that, it's going to look like everything will look different the more the weeks go on, because right now they're just going against the Bears defense, so they get extra reps. Now, as they progress, they'll start putting in week one's defense of what they're going to see and stuff like that. But also, I think I said, so you got 2 things you got to learn here. Number 2, could that just also mean that our defense is really good? Could that also be the next thing? Like when Lovie Smith was around, Like, imagine our first team offense having to go against our first team defense with Brian Urlacher in them. Like, oh, good Lord. Like, could that also be the possibility? But you don't see those reports. You don't see the reports of like, oh, the defense looks really good today. Like, look at this, look at this. Like, I want to know. I want to know that stuff.
I'd like to as well. And I think some of that plays into really that I think a lot of folks that have, and Bears, I think reporters, I don't know if it's just the old adage that we worry less about defense because that is the team's history or what. I think it's more the fact that last year it showed a lot of strides, and I think that's the place that people aren't worried as much about. It's Dennis Allen. He's always been proven to be a really good defensive coordinator when he's a coordinator, and the defense, at least in the pass game, was one of the better units in the NFL last year. They just needed to get better pass rush and a more solid run defense. So I think for some people that feels like more of we're on that right track. Let's focus on the bigger story in the room, the bigger personality in the room, which is Caleb Williams and seeing Ben Johnson work his magic here. I think that's why that doesn't get talked as much. I think a lot of people just are making this assumption that that's just going to be a good unit, period. Mm-hmm. And we just need to have a good offense. Let's just focus hard on the offensive aspects through camp because that's what we need to worry about, is what I get the feeling of. Which I don't fully agree with. I mean, I still worry about the interior line personally. I still worry about who's going to be that quality edge rush outside of Montez Sweat, so they just don't double team and push Montez Sweat out every play like they did last year. You know, that's what I'm worried about.
Broski Bear had a comment on this. He goes, he wants Turner to contribute. Don't rush him back. Jared, Dexter, Billings are solid. You need a fourth defense tackle. So either Pickens, Chris Williams, or Jonathan Ford into that.
Well, Pickens better have a good camp because I think a lot of people have not been thrilled with how he's produced. I know he's had some injury issues, but like I know some people really needed to see a good camp out of him because like early predictions were from reporters that they felt like he was going to be a cut candidate. Mm-hmm. Which sucks because a lot of people, and myself included, thought he was going to be the perfect run stuff DT when he was drafted, and he has not shown up to be that yet. So,
and he keeps having groin issues. I think something with his legs always is hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Williams and Ford. I would say Williams. I know at a few times had a few moments. I remember him showing up last year. But I think that's going to be the depth wise. I agree. That's going to be something that I'm going to be keeping an eye on because I don't know. This is kind of like last chance for Pickens. Like I feel like by draft stock, he should be ahead of these guys, but yet performance wise feels like he's been lagging.
Sounds like Tom Robb will stay on the outside. His days at D tackle might be over. This is his last camp to prove himself. Pickens was 3rd round pick, but it's almost like fearless at this point. That's the thing is
right. 3rd round pick, you should be established by now, a few years in.
Should be. And I was going to say, is this more of a defensive scheme type of thing? But then once you think about it, if you're an NFL player, you should use your athleticism no matter what defensive scheme it is. Like I get if you're not put into a pass rush situation, well then if you're not, you better be good at run stuffing. If you can't pass rush, you can't stop the run. What are you doing? Like you got to be able to do one or the other. Like, Sweat his ability to get to the quarterback. That's why he is where he is. But if you're a guy that isn't good at doing that or not showing that you can do it, and then you get put as an interior, well, then you can't stop the run. Or you would think, oh, you're a faster guy, but you're just not quite fast enough on the D end. If we put you in the middle, you might be fast enough. You still can't get to the quarterback. You still can't do this. Then what are we doing here, right?
Yeah.
So and we said this before. I think that all eyeballs are going to be looked at, obviously the offense, but defensively, yes, we got Dennis Allen. He's going to be able to scheme up some things. He's going to have to coach, but there's still some missing pieces on that Bears defense. Our secondary, I think, is fine. I think they invested into that. That part's fine. But they still have to address your front 7, right? You need those linebackers to really step up.
Of course.
But it's always been the D line. Like they show flashes, they show moments, but it's kind of going back to Khalil Mack's final days with the Bears, where, oh, he's the only guy that we have to worry about. Okay, we're going to do one of two things. We're going to double team him because we don't need to double team the other guys. If those other guys make a play, we'll live and die by that. Or we run away from him and we don't even have to worry about touching him because those other guys are not producing enough.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of feels like Sweat is in that same situation of similar Khalil Mack. So some of these other draft picks that we've made at the D line position, this has to be that year where that's kind of, even if it's not their final year of their contract year, it better be, because if not, they're going to draft somebody that comes in and takes it. Next year, they're going to address free agency and say, hey, we're going to bring in now these, because they address the O line, but they have to address this D line. And sometimes, no matter what scheme you come up with, they're going to have to go out and play. Because the scheme wise, I think we're going to be just fine. Dennis Allen is great at that. He's great at getting guys to play. You're hearing it from the Bears players how intense he is, how intense he wants them to be, and everything else. That Bears mentality he's kind of bringing back. But still, if you're a third round draft pick and you're not producing and you were drafted in 2023 and now we're getting into 2025 and you haven't proven anything, I'm sorry. And if I know injuries, but NFL doesn't care. It's a result oriented business. And if you ain't getting it done, somebody better get it done.
Yeah. Someone's got to get that sorted. Someone's got to step up there is what's going to happen. But yeah, the depth situation discussion, I think kind of is going to be more, if anything, it's going to be more intensely evaluated now because you have one less person taking reps at that spot. So, I guess that's kind of a silver lining if you're like a coaching staff, is maybe you can rotate those guys in a bit more if you want a few more looks on reps. Plus preseason's coming up. So, I guess you'll get to see who in the depth department is up to the task and is playing well in a real game situation as well. Something else I think if we're talking this defense situation and kind of more highlighting it, again, it doesn't feel like it's been talked about enough, but we still have the linebacker question in the room. Who's taking the third spot is right now? Because remember, we're talking a battle in camp between Noah Sewell, and we're also talking about the fourth round pick that we have from this year as well, with Eppolite as well, who's going to be coming in. Ruben Eppolite, that is the third, coming in to try and find out who's going to be that guy that replaces Jack Sanborn, because Sanborn is gone now. So, who is going to be that guy taking that? And Sewell's been around here for a minute. He's been a good contributor in special teams and other spots on the Bears roster. Different D coordinator this time around, different scheme this time around. It's a 4-3. Reminder, we're back to our more traditional Bears setup than in years past. But I've heard a lot that Hippolyte has been having a solid camp. Some of the reports I've read is he's shined at times. So, maybe he's looking like he might be one of the leaders.
That's the stuff we want to know. Like, because he's pushed Noah Sewell out of the first. Like right now, he's second.
Mm-hmm. It certainly seems that way. And then I think also a good point. I know Broski Bear been talking a lot, but I know there's been talks about Edmonds and how they're going to shift him into a different spot that more naturally fits him this year on that linebacker core, which, to be honest with you, I want to see if that changes production. I know there's been some people that say they're waiting for the old Tremaine Edmonds to return. I'm still waiting for the Tremaine Edmonds from Buffalo to show up, because I still have not seen, I have not seen the value from his contract show up yet in performances on field for the most part. There's been some glimpses. I know a lot of people share that pick six he had against Cleveland a few years back, but it's been more often. I think he is kind of forgotten on the field in terms of what I see from a man that was paid pretty substantially at that position to come in and be an impact player, when really he's getting outshined by TJ Edwards at almost every single step of the way on the defensive production side and kind of making impact plays. So, if that adjustment helps, that's what I'm looking for this year, because it's supposedly his more natural position. But yeah, Edmonds has to step up this year to me. That's when I'm keeping a very close eye on his production in season, because no matter what, he's locked in again. But he's one that I've not been impressed with personally.
No, and being a 4-3, your Will and your Sam gotta have to be athletic at times, because that's kind of why defenses went to a 4-2-5, because your two inside backers are more of your run stopper, stop in the middle, and then your two outsides are kind of your safeties, and you have two other safeties. If you go to a 4-3, with the way the NFL is structured now, with more pass heavy, those two outside guys. So if one of those guys has to slip into that outside backer position because they're athletic, cool. But guess what? The reason why you're doing that is because you're not getting it done in your normal position. So if Edwards is a middle backer and he's just not getting it done, and they say, "Hey, you're not meant for this, man. You got to be an outside backer. You better do it. You're getting paid money. We got
Yeah.
to see that, like that type of stuff." But I will say they have a lot of linebackers on the roster, but that's what training camp's for, is to just rotate these guys in. Are they getting the scheme? Are they getting where they're supposed to be? How hard are they trying? And so I wish that's the stuff that got reported. Like offensively, yeah, we want to know what's going on with Ben Johnson, big personality, like whatever. But also we want to see that part, because the Bears defense is going to not hopefully, but I would feel like that's our weak point. If the O line does what it's supposed to do, the receivers do what they're supposed to do, and Caleb Williams knows what he's supposed to do, they'll be fine. It's that defensive players that, and then also with these linebackers, can they also create pressure when they blitz? Are they able to get to the quarterback
Yeah.
and stuff like that? So that's kind of where we want to see this. We want to see all that.
Which, for clarity, Dennis Allen, one thing he has consistently done throughout his career, although the analytics showed that in recent years in New Orleans, he slightly toned that back. He is blitz heavy. He's no Todd Bowles by any stretch, but he's always, when it comes to his defenses, it's always on the upper end of the blitz spectrum. So there is much less reliance on your front seven and just the base defense playing their spot, like the Eberflus days. You're going to see a lot more linebackers getting sent and being distributed in different ways and packages than in years past. So I am very much expecting a more aggressive defensive style, which, credit, while not like Todd Bowles, and you're not worrying about a bad payoff for a bad blitz, that is going to be something that, hopefully turns some tide, but, hopefully is less risk, way more reward. And honestly, something we were hoping for more in the Eberflus era was a little bit more linebacker blitzes for, how good, especially TJ Edwards is at these blitzes, by the way. That's something I want to see more often, is send him loose. He's great at tackling. Means if he gets back there, you're not going to see him break too many sacks, or lose too many sacks, in my opinion. So
Yeah,
that's what I'm looking for.
Man, this guy's all over it today. I haven't heard how linebacker Power Equalis is doing in camp. He is a solid prospect. He is a undrafted free agent with the Bears. I think he went to North Carolina.
Yes, he did. I haven't really been seeing much either from like reading up on things or on like Twitter as much. So it's not sure. Which, I mean, that doesn't mean it's necessarily like bad per se, but like you do want, if you're solid performances at camp, generally people are going to highlight that. And I don't know. I mean, it's hard. That's hard to tell right now. Cause I haven't read anything online. There's nothing that's immediately coming up on any reports on his camp performances. So not sure.
No, I'm not seeing anything either. But
the only thing I got is a June 9th article from Draft Network. That is the headline: Bears UDFA with best chances to make the roster, and one of them is Power Eccles. So that's from the beginning of camp, or beginning issue of camp, or OTAs from like over a month ago, but nothing really since. honestly.
Yeah, he'll play in the preseason probably.
And I think that's where you're going to see a guy like that needs reps and need to see him on the field, is if he's not making much impact in camp, which I mean, it can be hard, especially if you got coaches that are focusing in on certain people, but
like this is what I want to see. Like this type of thing. Like Dennis Allen's defense is having a very strong camp. Ben Johnson wasn't wrong when he said they are playing a tighter coverage, not giving Caleb Williams and the offense anything easy.
Yeah.
This was yesterday.
And here's something that I also don't think gets discussed enough, and I don't know why we ignore it as fans and as people, and even those that cover or follow the team and do this discussion on it's all bad or all good. Your defense, the one that you play against every day, is almost always going to be and should be able to keep up and hold back and make your offense on the same team struggle or have to fight for it harder on how they play. Because you should know. You should be the most familiar with your own offense across the alley or across the locker room. So I don't know why that doesn't get talked about enough. It's like it almost gets conveniently pushed aside with every discussion. And this isn't just for Bears conversation too. I've seen people, our own fans as well, that they'll go sneak over to some account with the Vikings. And I think the easiest whipping boy for a lot of Bears fans right now has been JJ McCarthy, because he's been by all accounts pretty atrocious through the first week or so of camp over in Minnesota. And that could be many things. Personally, though, again, your defense is going to know your offense best first and foremost. So again, you can only take this stuff with so much a grain of salt until you hit the field and start playing for real.
Right. And I'll defend JJ McCarthy. He didn't play last year.
He is basically a rookie that has been in the building for over a year now. That's really what he is.
But that's the thing is, I know we're talking about Bears because we're Bears fans, so we're going to go after. Vikings are doing it too. JJ McCarthy's terrible. We shouldn't have done this, blah, blah, blah. And it's like you said, if you're a defense, especially for the Vikings, where you've had the same head coach calling plays for a couple of years, you've had the same defensive coordinator, so they're comfortable in their defense. Even though they have JJ McCarthy and there's going to be some similarities of their offense, the defense knows what they're doing. JJ McCarthy is learning what the defense does, just what Caleb Williams is doing right now. Like that report, that's a tweet I want to see. Bears defense looks good. They're playing tight coverage. They're being very physical with the receivers. Tell me a fight breaks out. Like they got too physical and a fight broke out. Like that's what I want to see.
I think the most we've gotten is Montez Sweat saying, I think it was, quote, get their asses off the field for a bad reps of practice earlier in training camp, a few days ago.
That's what I want to see. I want to see that stuff. I want to see leadership. I want to hear that stuff. I want to hear Ben Johnson kicking somebody off the field because they didn't line up right. I want to see Dennis Allen. I hate up downs. I don't think they get them in football shape, but he's like, I made them do up downs because they weren't ready to go. Even though I don't like up downs, I don't make players do it anymore unless I'm really, 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 really just at my wit's end. But that's the stuff you want to see. And then you want to hear what they say in press conferences. But then what they say in press conferences, you want to see done at practice.
You would think that's what practices you preach, they say. So you should see those things happening on the field when you're talking about it, no Matt Eberflusism type of, we say one thing, we do another thing type of discussion,
or just saying the PR answers,
or saying the PR answers, doing the Eberflus, or to even worse a degree, you can be a Mark Trestman where you just are all PR, no personality. That's as far. I mean, that's as far as saying what needs to be said without any sort of you injecting as you can go.
At least Matt Nagy would say a little extra.
Yeah,
at
least Matt Nagy would. He certainly would. He still does with Kansas City from time to time when he's asked.
He was just on that podcast with the Kels brothers.
I I know which one you're talking about, but I forget the name. I'm going to look it up though, just because I'm going to drive myself nuts if I don't. It is New Heights.
He was on there. I didn't watch it though. I'm like, oh my god, his face popped up, and I was like, oh my god, they're talking to Matt Nagy. I don't want to know, because then I saw something about they're asking about the double doink, and I was like, yep, I'm not listening.
Yep, and bad memories coming back. It's time to leave.
That happened to me in my NCAA game yesterday.
No, it did.
I kicked a field goal, clunk. I was like, no, this is so bad.
Oh my god. We can't escape it. We're forever stuck with that memory until something good happens, which maybe that's what it is it's becoming more than just a moment. Now it's like a curse.
It is. Think about it. I mean, I know we made the playoffs at 8-8, but by God, it was Nickelodeon stuff. Like, come on. Like,
we're now, like, think about this. We're now 6 years and change or so away from the double doink. Like, at what point do we start labeling it as like a Bears curse? Because, like, does it have to get to 10 years with no success or playoff appearances to where it becomes the double doink curse or something like that?
Something like that. But the Bears are always cursed. Like, they got rid of Lovie Smith, and we started going down the spiral for years, and then we had a glimmer of hope in that 2018 season. Mm-hmm. But then the double doink happens, and then what happens after that? Then things start spiraling. Even though we did make the playoffs again later on, but just things weren't going.
I guess that's where I can be technical, but, like, I never count that year because it was the first year they expanded the playoff, and the Bears weren't really a playoff team, I guess, but they were.
But doesn't it seem like something always happens where, like, we make the Super Bowl, we keep everything intact, then we're at the NFC Championship game, Jay Cutler's knee thing happens, then we go 10-6, don't make the playoffs, they get rid of Lovie Smith, the curse of Lovie Smith happens where we just nothing goes right, we're this middle of the road, and then we go through a few head coaches, and we're playing really bad, and then 2018 happens. We're a double doink away from the Super Bowl, stuff like that. Then things start to spiral again. So it's like at some point we will.
I got to head a pause on our discussion real quick because I didn't notice this yet. And I think I'm going to double check to make sure this isn't fully fake. But from what I'm seeing, there should be a Virginia McCaskey patch on Bears jerseys this year that should be similar to when George Halas passed away in the 80s.
I saw something about that.
The orange football with the initials. It looks like it's going to be VM. VMH, I believe is what it says here. Yeah, it'll be VMH with an orange football. It's very reminiscent of the George Halas one from when he passed away back in the day in 1983.
Yeah, I literally saw that a little bit ago, and I just skimmed over it. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's supposed to be cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
which I'm all for.
It's a great nod. So I like that they went back and are doing a very similar tribute to the late Virginia McCaskey here.
And also, since we are a Bears segment here, can I trash the Packers for a second?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Did you see their throwback jerseys?
Oh, I did. How could you not? Everyone's been talking about these stupid things on Bears social media because of one specific thing you're going to bring up.
That they stole from Illinois?
Yeah, there it is. Gee, I wonder where they got that painted helmet look from. Who could have guessed?
Yeah, I wonder where they got that idea from to make the helmet look like a football and to be in like this orange and blue thing, because the Packers used to be orange and blue way back in the day, I found out.
Fun fact
that I didn't even know until a Packers fan told me. And then I saw it and I was like, wait a minute. they're stealing from Illinois. And then immediately someone posted it side by side. So it's like, Packers, come up with your own shit. Don't steal from Brett Bielema in Illinois.
How dare you steal from a college program? How dare you? You couldn't have any thought of originality yourself. You couldn't just use a leather helmet instead of a painted helmet.
Like, I finally found it. Like, are you kidding me?
I mean, it's as copy and paste as you can get.
Because those jerseys are cool. Illinois' 100-year anniversary against Michigan.
And I'm more talking the helmet. I've seen some people try and be like, "Oh, they copied the jerseys too." It's like they really didn't. Like it's the same colors, but like no,
they copied the pants. They copied the pants, and they copied the helmet.
Yeah, I mean the helmet's the same, and the pants are pants. Like they are that old schooly brown color, but like no, the helmet's a blatant ripoff. There's no denying that is exactly what they did there. Like it almost looks one. Like I know like they're supposed to look other. You can't have much difference, but like it's near 1-to-1 is how close that is.
So Brett Bielema is a trendsetter because people don't know. Brett Bielema said that this uniform was like a year or two in the making. Like it took them a long time to get this done. So I'm not. Maybe it took Packers that long, but like
maybe
it's just weird that going into the season after Illinois did it, you're going to do it.
I it's kind of one of those things. You just coincidence. I think not, but maybe it is. They have hard to say, I guess, but just chalk it up as a win for Illinois. I mean, those things were the talk of the town last year in college football, and that's saying something for a team that ended the year on good stride. And I have to say for you, sir, I know a little bit of distraction, but yet still kind of Illinois football here in terms of college instead of the professional scene. Illinois is getting a lot of hype by the pundits, man. They're like talked about as like one of the big dogs in the Big Ten this year, as like one that can take off, be a competitor for the playoff. Like they're getting a lot of preseason hype. I've been noticing.
And I love it. Except when this happens to Illinois, something happens all the time. Growing up, I remember when they upset Ohio State, number 1 Ohio State at Ohio State, Juice Williams at quarterback, Jay Lehman at linebacker, Rashard Mendenhall at running back. They upset them. They go to the Rose Bowl. They get absolutely slaughtered by USC and Mark Sanchez at quarterback, just destroyed. But then what it did was we brought a lot of those players back. We were up, catapulted up and said, okay, maybe Ron Zook's got it figured out, because I will give Ron Zook credit. He could recruit. You look at some of those Illinois guys, a lot of those old linemen ended up playing for the Giants that won a Super Bowl. They go here. Like he could recruit some players. He just couldn't coach them. They just couldn't put it together and like win all the time.
Yeah.
So what happened? We get catapulted. Oh, Illinois is going to compete for the Big Ten. They beat Ohio State last year. And then what happens? We don't go to a bowl game. This happens. It just always seems to happen that way. Then Illinois, Nathan Shieldhouse at quarterback. They win some games. They go to a bowl game. They play Baylor, RG3 at quarterback. And Illinois just kills them. And it's awesome. We get catapulted up again. Kind of like the Bears. See, Illinois and Bears are like very similar, where things happen and then all of a sudden they just start doing this. Like we just start going down.
Yeah.
And then we thought we found it with Lovie Smith, like, oh, Lovie Smith comes in, this NFL guy, he knows defense.
Former Bears head coach. So like you get the goodwill of those people from just up the north of the way.
He only recruits 5 or 6 kids out of Illinois. Like everything else has to come from somewhere else. And this and that, and it just spirals down. And then we get Brent Bielema. Struggled his first year, but we beat Penn State in a 9 overtime win, that thriller classic. Then the next year we go 8-5, and we're excited. Then what happens? We go 5 games. Last year we go 10-3. But I am going to say this. it feels different. Like even in the Ron Zook time, this time, whatever, it just feels different. I don't think Illinois has ever gotten this national attention. And I've been listening to anytime an Illinois player is on a podcast, anytime Brett Bielema's on one, I'm listening to it. They have the pieces. They're saying the right things. I'm keeping up on any camps that they're doing. It's kind of like the Bears. They're doing what they're saying they're going to do. And what I love about Brett Bielema, everybody on the podcast asks him, like, how you handling these expectations? How you doing this? How you doing this? Brett Bielema, and then they ask him, what's the biggest game on your schedule? He says Western Illinois, and they always say, why Western Illinois? And he goes, because that's week one. That's week one. That's the most important game right now. Is week one.
See, but I see what he's trying to do. He's trying to say that you focus on the week ahead. You never want to look ahead.
Well, that's why he goes, if you look at these expectations, like, oh, we're supposed to go to the playoffs. Well, if you think that, you're going to miss a lot of those games that are supposed to get you there.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next awesome question he gets is, he goes, well, people are saying we avoid Michigan, we avoid Ohio State this year and everything else. He goes, but guys, like, we're playing USC that people think are supposed to go to the playoffs. We're playing, so and so. Or they're playing Ohio State this year. He was like, oh, you're bypassing a lot of these teams. He goes, we're playing the defending national champions, Ohio State, this year at home. We're playing this team that are projected to go to the playoffs. Like, we do have a tough schedule.
Yeah.
Like in the Big Ten, it is tough. So he's saying the right things. He's talking the talk, walking the walk. So it does feel different. But I will say this: Illinois never had they have 18 starters coming back.
It's pretty good for it's pretty good for a Power 5 group there.
They have their entire offensive line coming back. They have a quarterback coming back that it's his third year starting for Illinois. This will be his third year. And Brett Bielema said this too. I think they're the only team in the country to have their offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, and special teams coordinator coming back for their third straight year in that position. So everything is just lining up right. And I always keep saying we're waiting for the shoe to drop. I don't think a shoe's going to drop. I don't see it. Because last year, I'm on record. I have a buddy that does a podcast with his buddy, and they talk Illinois. They were live one time going over the schedule. They were predicting like 6-7 wins, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I come on the YouTube comments, and I said, Illinois is going to have 8 to 11 wins this year. 8 to 11. And then they kept talking. I was like, you know what? 9 to 11. They're going to have 9 to 11 wins.
I mean, I'll give my quick take. I think the 9 to 11 is reasonable. Like the ones that, like, my most concerning opponents, and this is just my face value Illinois, like, following. I do not follow Illinois like you do. I'm more of like a Notre Dame IU guy, which is why I'm going to throw in that I'm looking at your schedule immediately. Ohio State, USC, and IU are the biggest threats to, any of your playoff contention status and higher ranking and whatnot. I'm just going to throw that out there, and IU, and even like college football, like IU's not, I think people are looking at IU different this year, and that was just a one-off like Cinderella season, but I wouldn't put it past Kurt Signetti to put together another good year and be a really hard out among the Big Ten teams. So,
well, people forget though, they have to go to Duke week 2, and Duke is not a bad football. I know their O-line coach. He's been on here before when he was a Raging Cajun, Louisiana. Mm-hmm. They're a good football team. So I'm telling people, you'll know what Illinois is made of after week 2, and when they play Indiana. And I'm telling people, I know the head coach at Western Michigan. Like, you'll know Illinois week 2 and week 4, but they can't sleep on. Then USC, I think they're in a downward spiral compared to what they were, but that it's a tough game. But the good thing is USC is coming to Illinois. They don't have to travel all the way, so they have to do all the traveling. People are predicting Illinois, if they can go undefeated at hosting Ohio State, some are predicting Illinois will beat Ohio State. Like, it's just that type. And people are sleeping going to Washington. Playing at Washington is very, very tough.
Yeah, it's another year with a new coaching staff. It is still a very prominent organization that can bring in some of the best talents in the country. You know, I mean, Pacific Northwest football is still a really great player base, and them and Oregon are two of the best at recruiting their talents from their own states. So,
but now with the extended playoff, if they go 9-3, they still have a chance. Like that's the great thing about expanding the playoff is if a team loses 2 or 3 games, they still have a chance to like make that playoff.
Exactly, that is true. Let me ask you this, just to tie it in for Bears discussion. Who are you more confident in the season, Illinois or Chicago in terms of the Bears? I know it's 2 different levels, but who do you feel more confident is going to get to where they need to be, which is a playoff berth?
Illinois.
All right.
Because like I'm going to repeat myself a little bit. You have a head coach that's been there since the COVID times. You have an offensive coordinator. It's his 3rd year being the offensive coordinator, defense coordinator, 3rd year being the defense coordinator coming in.
All right.
Special teams, same thing. You have a quarterback who played well last year. It's his 3rd year starting under the same offense, mind you. You have your entire offensive line coming back, and one of them is Olin Kreutz's son, so he knows a little bit of something about football.
Yeah, a little bit. Just a little bit.
Brent Bielema said his running back room looks like his Wisconsin running back room.
Oh.
He's comparing them because they all put on like 15 pounds of muscle over this offseason. So he says he has thunder and lightning. He has a big bruisers. He has his fast guys. And that's Brent Bielema. Brent Bielema's coached a lot of NFL guys. People forget at Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So he's comparing his running backs to the Monte Balls of the world and stuff like that. I kind of have to listen to him and agree with him. You have your secondaries coming back for Illinois. You have a couple of your defensive linemen coming back. Stuff like that. So the big question mark for Illinois is the wide receiver room. Pat Bryant, NFL player, stuff like that. So they have a couple new. Sakari Franklin was like a 5th-year senior. Played at UTSA. Played for Barry Lunny Jr., who's their offensive coordinator. Played last year. So they have to replace some wide receiver guys. But the reports are that they are very fast wide receivers. So if you got some speed, you can do a little something. But it's just all set up. Their schedule is not the hardest schedule in the country, but it's not as easy as people think because like Duke's good. Indiana made the college football playoff. USC has some talent. Ohio State's your reigning national champion. Washington has a couple athletes, and you're at Washington, which is a very loud stadium, and you have to travel all the way to Washington to play that game.
Right.
Rutgers, it took to the final 15 seconds of the game last year to win. They threw a hitch pass to Pat Bryant. He broke like 3 tackles to score.
Yeah, and I guess I should stop and say that, I'm not discounting the Big Ten schedule because, like, besides Washington, like, I'll admit, like, Greg Schiano going back to Rutgers, that team's getting closer.
It's getting closer.
By the way. So,
and then people are saying that at Washington is are going to Wisconsin is supposed to be tough, but Wisconsin is struggling. They are not the same Wisconsin they were. And then Northwestern is, your rival, but it's at Champaign. So that's always, so I have more confidence in that just because, like I said, the experience and your coordinators. With the Bears, we've discussed this where I know what Luke Altmaier, the quarterback for Illinois, can bring to the table. What can Caleb Williams really do in the NFL? You have a new offense, a new defense, stuff like that. Now, if this was year 3 under all that stuff, a little different story. But yes, that's my long-winded answer. Did you see this comment right here? These 2 comments in the.
I mean, I did.
What's this? Broski is a tool.
I think he's talking about you because I I don't
Too
know.
scared to go to real chats since.
I mean, I haven't met this guy before, so that's why I only suggest it might be you.
I don't know who this guy is. And first of all, he misspelled chats, so that's funny.
Yeah, not to label it you. I just was like, I've definitely not met this guy. That's why I'm saying.
Neither have I.
But oh well. I
Hey,
mean,
thanks for. I'll tell him what all the haters. Thanks for watching in the view. I appreciate that, you jackass.
hey, as my friend says on the other show I do, it helps the algorithm either way. So,
What
thumbs up.
keyboard warriors like Bear Junkie there? Keyboard warrior is what I call them.
But yeah. But yeah, at the end of the day, I don't know. It's nice to go on. I always like going these tangents with you on Illinois football because I don't keep up with them as much, honestly, as I should, though. So that's the other thing. But
I talk tough. I don't type tough like you do. Anyway, run away or block. Did you even play football, buddy? Do you even know what football is? This is a man sport. Go to the soccer podcast that's on another YouTube channel. You fuck.
Oh, brother.
You can't even spell chat right, you dumb fuck. Oh, sorry. Okay.
You're doing some good work there, huh? I'm talking. That's funny. Oh, how do we not talk about this yet? The left tackle discussion.
Sorry. Put user in timeout. He's in a timeout because I'm not dealing with
that. How did we not talk more in depth on the left tackle piece yet? I don't know how I didn't do that yet.
But Broski Bear's been good. He said Bears finally are doing it the right way. It's more than a 1-year fix. 100% agree. Sorry, that's a positive comment. Good job. That's the stuff I want to see.
Oh, it adds the discussion too.
But yes, the left tackle. Let's finish with the left tackle discussion.
So I don't know how much reading you've done on this or like how much you kept up with these reports as well. They've been pretty consistent. Braxton, I think it's going to be Braxton Jones to start the year, it seems. I know that Amigiji has been looking solid in camp as well. And I think that's one of the guys that's kind of, if there's anyone that's going to be able to elevate above him, it would be him. But I would say that probably start the season with Braxton, and then if things go wrong at left, they might have to flip around. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's another draft pick. Who's the guy from Yale? Amige.
Yeah, it's Amige there. That's how they pronounce it, from what I can tell.
That was another guy I thought was going to get looked at, but he's third string. Like, that's another draft pick that has not panned out. And he's an Illinois guy from Hinsdale,
yeah.
But he's got the frame, 6'5", 326 pounds. That was another guy I wanted to see get some reps. But kind of like the defensive discussion, like you're a third-round pick, and it's been a couple years, and you haven't panned out. Man, I got hate. Sorry, I keep looking at the chat. I got haters coming out of the woodwork.
Yeah, I would probably ignore those, though.
I'll change my son's diaper in like 4 weeks. Does that help?
Yeah.
This guy must like Justin Fields. He must be a Justin Fields fan.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. He's got a Caleb Williams photo with I believe that was Ben Johnson in there, so who knows?
Oh, so he's a bandwagon guy. Oh, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Okay. All right, back to the left tackle thing. Let's be positive here.
Well, at least enough coverage on it. Yeah, I mean, it seems like, I guess my thing with this is, Braxton seems to be the one they're going to stick with. I think a lot of people have opinions on Braxton. Whether some people defend him adamantly, some people feel like he is underperformed, which credit, I personally will say he's overperformed given his draft capital he was when we came in.
That's what I was about to say.
I think people want more at the position because it's left tackle. For a right-handed thrower, It's the most important blocker on that front line. And for a season of upgrades and trades and free agency, I think that's going to be one that most people watch for. Is Caleb? It's one thing with Caleb scrambling. We're watching for that. The other thing is, can that position hold its own? Because now that the interior's gotten shored up, the pressure goes back on the tackles. Which Darnell Wright he played his ass off last year as a rookie. That's not a problem.
Right.
Can Braxton live up to what is now that elevated status of that line and the pedigree it is possessing right now? That's what I think people are asking that question about.
Right, because I think you and I said that the interior was the part that had to get fixed. Like if we had to go to free agency, we had to go to the draft or anything like that. Interior, like if you had to pick, not saying that they were all sunshine and rainbows, but that's the one that we had to fix. But I also kind of want to lean into coaching in the NFL. Obviously, players have to live up to it because they're adults, they're professionals. But if the coaching staff is making them get to that high level and they're coaching their ass off, hopefully that would help Braxton Jones. And like, okay, here's the level and expectation that I have to get to. Because he had good moments last year. Like there was some good stuff, but also was he the one that like fell to his knees or something? Was that him? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes. I think I know what you're talking about.
Was that him?
Yes. I want to say yes, but I can't be all honesty 100% confident in that analysis.
But I want to lean to what you said, like for being a 5th round draft pick, he's overperformed. But I think maybe because he was hungry for that, because he was picked there, and maybe he kind of lost some of that. So if they need another lineman, that's what the Bears need right now I go back to energy and effort. If there's somebody behind them that is trying to steal their spot.
But you know what? I'm an idiot. I can't believe I didn't bring this man's name because I actually heard more about this guy, Ozzy Trapilo, who is from Boston College. He's actually been getting a lot of hype in camp. I know I've heard stuff with Mikaji, but he actually has gotten even more press in recent days for someone that's challenging Braxton, which I'll still say I still feel Braxton wins the job, but he'll be the guy. I bet I would put my bottom dollar. Any sign that Jones can't hold up in the early going, they switch to him right away.
Oh, for sure.
As long as he's healthy.
Don't be surprised if that happens in training camp. If Braxton Jones, like that might be the guy they're going with because of experience. But if this other kid comes in and is showing better stuff, this is the stuff in training camp we want to know. Like, hey, they are blocking better. They are better technique. They're getting where they're supposed to be. They're protecting the backside of Caleb Williams on the left side. Put them in now. And that's the vibe I get from the coaching staff is that's who they'll put in. It's not going to be – obviously, they got to play some of the guys that they're paying lots of money to because that's just how the NFL works.
Of course. Yeah. It's never like – how do I put this? Well, I guess even – actually, I can't even use that argument anymore because college is kind of getting like that too with like NIL. I mean, it's going to be moving that direction.
Well, yeah, because colleges now are getting that revenue.
Like, we're finding less and less levels of discussing. Well, now it's performance that dictates such. Like, I mean, here with this position battle, maybe it's a little different because left tackle, and I don't think the money's really going to be enough to force or draft capital force your hand either way on keeping someone in. But like, it is kind of amazing to think back. Now we just finished that Illinois discussion. It's like, oh yeah. We're kind of going to get in an era where like NIL can kind of like dictate how you perceive usage of people because now you're putting salary cap in the near future and dollars on kids coming out of high school like that.
NIL is kind of reaching its way down to high school level too. Like,
is it now?
Yes, it's starting to state by state where kids can get paid. And I don't like it. It's
Welcome to modern sports.
Welcome to modern sports. You're going to see college more like this because that revenue sharing that's coming down where the schools are now getting revenue. So it's going to be more like a level playing field, kind of a little bit. But, in the NFL, they will not play players even if they're getting paid a lot, but that happens in the season. Like right now in training camp, like it's DJ Moore's spot, it's Caleb Williams' spot. But if
Sure.
you get to like week 7 or 8 and they're just not performing, they could sit them. They're gonna be like, we don't care how much money we're paying you, like
Mhm.
you're gonna be sat down. But in training camp, it's about earning a spot. It's about, you know, especially now when you have a new like w- with if it was the same old coaching staff, you kind of know what you get away with, right? You kind of know. But
Sure.
if it's again, if all these players play and practice like it's their last year of their contract, the Bears should be pretty good, in
Yeah.
my opinion.
Yeah. I'm liking what I'm seeing here. I think that they do have a good setup here with these pieces in depth right there. So it definitely is good with that offensive line. So, but I mean, if we're discussing left tackle as the one position, Jesus, it's night and day compared to last year.
Oh God,
I mean, we don't got to worry. I mean, it feels like just given the investment in the guard and center spots this offseason, I mean, left tackle is still to me, if we're talking pass protection, it is generally whatever your blind side is still the most important. But it's nice to know that you're not just going to straight up give up easy up the gut rushes as often. It should be that case because of who we get signed on, but it's nice to know that, and hopefully a boost in the run game too. Which I will circle back here. DeAndre Swift, did get a lot of flack on this show and other shows earlier last year. The numbers did show he ended the season pretty respectable. I'll give him that flower that maybe we'll see a better version of him this season based on him getting his feet wet last year and finally kind of settling in.
well, and hopefully you have a play caller that will lean into what he can do, right? I think the flack. I didn't think he played as well as he should have. But I also don't think that he's not a downhill runner. Like he showed flashes of it, but he's an inside zone, wide zone type of runner. And I
Mm-hmm.
think when you watch Ben Johnson with the Bear or the Lions, he was very good at like, oh, this offensive line is a gap scheme where we can run power and stuff like that. And we have, Montgomery that can really run downhill. That's what I'm going to lean into, right? But when he had a faster running back in there, he had to switch up a little bit of what he was going to run. So if you have a big bruiser in there, gap scheme power, we're going to run downhill. You have Swift in there. Oh my gosh, he can catch out of the backfield. He can make somebody miss. But he's gonna have eyeballs on him too. Like, there's a couple Bears players, even though this is all brand new, they're gonna have a microscope on them. Like, hey, like Swift, we're paying you a lot of money. It was discussed getting rid of you, like trading you because you just didn't live up to what we thought you could do.
Mm-hmm.
Now
Yeah.
you have somebody in that's gonna try to lean into what you can do, and if it still doesn't work, like there's pressure. Like that's the thing with this Bears that is kind of an awesome thing and a frustrating thing. The reason why we're getting all these types of training camp stuff is because the hype of Ben Johnson, the hype of everything.
Oh, yes.
Be- Um, and there's pressure. There are people putting Super Bowl pressure on this team, and that's why we're getting these training camp takes and everything else, which is a good thing. You like Illinois, you want to be talked about. You want this national spotlight. You want eyeballs on you.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's pressure on you that you need to live up to said expectations. Then, like you and I are not putting Super Bowl expectations. We've talked about it before, but they have to be physical. They have to play competitive. They have to do this. So that's what's happening. So Swift's gonna have eyeballs on him. Caleb Williams, since he couldn't keep his mouth shut, gonna have eyeballs on him. DJ Moore's gonna have eyeballs on him because he's getting paid all the money. Uh, the offensive line's going to have eyes on them because everybody says we fixed it, so they've got to come and perform too. Which, by all reports, the interior is like they actually look pretty good.
Yeah.
Um, they've shown a couple pass protective sets where he they played pretty well. So now it's about performing. But again, that comes week one. It doesn't come preseason. It doesn't come. It comes week one. Like week one, we got to see what they're doing, and
Yeah.
then go from there.
That's all you can do. Again, it's all camp gives you so much, but you're not going to get a true analysis of what this team's going to look like until you truly hit the field is the thing. So, like I said, you're getting these battles. We're going to see what positions are going to get knocked out here. Going to get more clarity, of course, for preseason performances as well. But, just like we started the show, chill out, take a deep breath. Every day it's a practice. First thing first. The real stuff that matters most is performances when it is on the field, thousands of people, when the dollars are for your paycheck and for anything else that matters season long. So that's where it goes. And again, that's not just us too. Again, that Dan Patrick quote, that was like a saving grace thing for me. I was like, yep, I'm glad I'm glad I am not the only one that gets drove crazy by training camp, overhype, training camp, sensationalism, you name it. So, just keep on going, analyze battles, hope to God that Turner gets healthier sooner rather than later. Because again, that's a guy I really want to see out there, and upset that he's going to be out for 4 weeks. And hopefully, like I said, sooner rather than later, we get clarity on who's getting that left tackle. Also, who's going to be punt returning, because I saw DJ Moore and even Burden apparently are up for the punt return duties. Something I also want to throw in before we get anywhere towards the end of the show, because that's another piece of the puzzle that's being figured out too.
I also saw DJ Moore at running back.
I wouldn't be shocked if they use him more like that, because it felt like 2 years ago they were getting him into that and were using him more in the run game like he was in Carolina. Last year, kind of felt like they shied away from it. So I think we're going to get back to that old DJ Moore kind of jet sweep or creative backfield setups that we used to see back when he was with Justin Fields his first season here in Chicago.
Ben Johnson said that DJ Moore is a yard after catch type of guy. So he goes, why wouldn't we
Very true.
Find ways to get him the ball where he can make a move?
He's been like that his whole career. I mean, that's what his bread and butter is. That's what got him enough hype when we got him picked up. And what I think, honestly, the trade is what elevated, I think, his status even more in the eyes of, like, I think the NFL media is, once you start looking at the data and how he does after tackle or after first contact. I mean, guy is incredible. And it'll be nice to see if they use him the way that they did in 23, that'll be a really nice refresher with hopefully a better offensive mind behind the driver's seat than we had 2 years ago.
Well, that's why we're getting different answers like that from this coaching staff than we did in the previous one. So I don't think we would have heard, oh, he is a yard after catch type of guy, so I have to get creative in how we get him the ball, whether it's in the backfield, whether it's a quick pass, whether it's, whatever. And he's also a deep threat, so he just kind of brings everything to the table. I don't think we ever would have heard that from the previous coaching staff. So again, as long as the coaching staff talks the talk and walks the walk and backs up what they say they're going to do, they're going to be fine. And so they even did like a trick play with DJ Moore. They showed it like pass and stuff like that. So it's like they're still finding ways to have fun and have these unique things. And if you show those things and film just once, that next team on defense has to take practice time out of their time to practice that. And Ben Johnson may never call that in the game that they play, but you just took time to practice it. So it just seems like the Bears are like coming from the outside looking in, and I hope this isn't an overreaction, but it just seems that they're finally coming into like a modern era of like what things are supposed to do and be done,
I'll play up my usual kind of, how do I put this? My usual sit back and wait kind of stance. I know I did start the show like this, and I know I will start with some positivity at the beginning of the year. I expect good things for the amount of resources invested in this team. There should be no reason we should start the year off poorly. And I know it's a tough slate this year with how the schedule is with opponents, but this should be a good team. Like I will start like I have the last few years. Again, I see even more so than 24, which 24 I thought was even better team than 23 by far in terms of on paper stuff. This should be a good team. So I expect that. I'm looking forward to seeing that come to fruition. But look, I'm a scorned Bears fan from several years now. I'm going to act the way I am. If things go south, I'm going to expect to see some quick upturn or some changes in mid-season. It's just how it is.
Right.
So there's not much you can do. But, so far, training camp early, still got a little ways to go before we get done with all the decisions that need to be made. Preseason's coming around the corner, so that's nice. Can't wait to see those guys hit the field and see some of those battles get active reps. But yeah.
Sorry, the chat has been, I'm not going to address anything that was said in the chat, but I am going to say this. It was very active, a lot of hate towards me. What I like to say is, I don't mind. You and I have had some chats on here where it was more discussion based and stuff like that. That's what I want. So if people are on here and they want to debate, they want to say something, you want to debate in the chat, perfectly fine. But please don't go after me and Zach. I know that's the nature of this. So if you're in the chat ever and you just want to, if you want to bash Caleb Williams in the chat, go right ahead. It's not going to bother me. What's his face used to say Tyson Bagent was like the quarterback that should be played, stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. There's still people that feel like that's the case, but I don't know. Chat is able to do what it wants. Honestly, you can't control and everyone that comes in. And the Bears fandom is all over the place on a lot of things, as best I can put it. It's a very unique fandom.
Like right here, somebody just said something about Caleb Williams. I'd rather see that than the other stuff I was seeing. You can put that in the chat all you want. I don't care. We have a fan on here that says Detroit Super Bowl champs. I would be fine with that. That would not bother me a bit. The Lions winning the Super Bowl.
I mean, I think it would be I think America likes Detroit. I'll have to say, to be a Bears fan here, yeah, I prefer it over Green Bay, but it's still a division rival that would win. So
okay.
Yeah,
so I guess that outside the Bears, who'd you rather see win a Super Bowl? Packers, Vikings, Detroit.
I mean, Detroit, out of those three, easy. I'd want to see win a Super Bowl, but that's if I had to. I think that was more if I was like, I don't know, held at gunpoint and had to pick. And also, I'll say I have family in Detroit. I have an uncle and cousins. They are Lions fans. Like, yeah, I'm always gonna pick if it's gonna be that solution. Like, Detroit's gonna be one of my other teams, but like, realize I'm a Bears fan first, always. So, and as we have in the chat, thank you. Always, you can do FGB, FTP, don't matter. One of those always works. Green Bay is always down. They're always going to be the guys that suck the most. I mean, what can you say? It's Green Bay, man. They're freaking they freaking steal helmets, for God's sake.
I was about to say that they steal things.
You can't trust them worth a damn. No original thought.
They steal Illinois jerseys. Why would you trust them?
Oh, that's funny.
All right. Well, Bears Twitter, calm down. Just talk about what matters out of training camp. Let's just be excited that it's coming back, that you can keep up with the Bears. It's not a camp on a Monday, camp on a Thursday. It's every day. We're getting closer. I know preseason doesn't matter, but it'd be nice just to turn on NFL football and just kind of zone out. And then that just means you're inching closer to the Bears season. We're inching closer to college football season. The two biggest ones out of all the football seasons there are, I think those are obviously the two biggest ones. Chat, you can say what you want. Meet me in the parking lot afterwards, and we'll show you how tough I really am.
Oh, you.
Because out of everybody in the chat in here, I'm probably the only one that played college football, so you all can scooch. You can scooch out.
You can, I don't know. You'd have to come to Arizona to meet me. It's a little different, but I don't know what to say to that.
I'll ban people that say very, very, very inappropriate things. They're what is it, Jameson Riley? So that's why if you have things to say and they're very inappropriate that should never be said, I will put you in a timeout. I will treat you like a child. So like right now, you're being a child. So what do you do to children, Zach? You put them in a timeout.
That's the way of looking at it. Yeah.
Jameson, all I'll say is meet me in the parking lot and you'll see how tough I really am. Just like
honestly, I think you guys will work it out though. Like I said, he's saying FGB. I mean, that just seems like you guys will you'll meet up, all things will be forgiven.
I just want to do one thing to this guy. Act like a child, he's put in timeout.
Oh, you didn't have to do that, but oh well. What can you do?
It's okay. Well, I think we covered everything. Chat, thanks so much for being there. Who was the nice guy? Broski Bear. You were the best. You get a gold star.
Yeah, new sub for you too, as he said. So
yeah. And he likes college football too. He was saying that he loves college football.
Nice. Got all season to follow along.
Except he's a Penn State fan. I don't know how that's going to work.
Interesting. Well, good luck with that.
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching or listening. Like and subscribe, all that good stuff. We'll be back for more Bears stuff as it continues to flood out. And we will see you guys next time.